tuning into Culture Talk. I'm Sheila Park. I'll be hosting today's podcast. Here at Culture Talk, we discuss different cultures to increase awareness and learning of various nations' holidays and traditions. Today is November 5th, 2014, and we're here with Julie Tucker, who's former Cultural Awareness Chair for Indian Student Association at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, to talk about Diwali and how it has become a national holiday. Hi, Julie. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great, too. Thanks for asking. So, can you tell me briefly about the history of Diwali?
Sure. So Diwali stems from Indian tradition and Indian religion. So there's a popular epic called Ramayana in which the main character, Ram, was exiled with his wife from his kingdom of Ayodhya. And Diwali actually symbolizes his homecoming after 14 years. He was exiled to defeat the evil demon Ravana. And after 14 years, he was allowed to come back into his kingdom. And this was a celebration that was thrown in his kingdom for his homecoming.
Wow, Julie, thanks for sharing. That was really interesting. So I also heard that Diwali was a festival of lights. Can you tell me a little bit about the significance of the candles and lights?
Sure. So as I mentioned before, it was the homecoming of Ram that actually symbolizes Diwali. So the candles, it's said that every resident of Ayodhya lit a candle in their doorway, welcoming him back into Ayodhya, his kingdom.
What's the religious aspect to the holiday? Do you have any prayers that actually happen during the holiday?
Absolutely. So during this time, family and friends gather around traditional murti, which is a statue of the gods, and they have a puja, which is essentially the prayer where they gather around and they celebrate Ram's homecoming.
So, Juhi, I heard that there was some street art associated with Diwali. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Sure. So the street art is actually called Rangoli, and it's traditionally found at the doorstep of every single person's home during Diwali, and it's to welcome the guests that are coming over, the family that are coming for the prayers, and it essentially symbolizes the welcoming of Ram back into their kingdom. And for a lot of different Indian holidays, we've been able to do this. So personally, I've been able to, when I was part of Indian Student Association, my team and I were able to create a Rangoli out of rice. We took rice and colored paint, and we were able to create an elaborate design with a peacock just to welcome people to our event.
So, Julie, earlier before we started this podcast, you mentioned that you were born in India and raised there till you were 7 before coming to the U.S. Can you tell me a little bit about how Diwali is actually celebrated in India and the U.S. and any similarities or differences between the two?
Sure. So Diwali is celebrated in India to the scale at which Christmas is celebrated in America. So all the students are getting days off from school, and the parents are taking days off from work, and the shops and stores are closed down, and everyone is getting together with their family and friends and having these prayers and celebrations. And then in the evening, the kids and the adults get together and they celebrate with fireworks and different kinds of firecrackers like sparklers. And so that was one of the things that I found more difficult when I came to America, is that I wasn't getting these days off from school, and I wasn't able to celebrate with my family, although my parents were able to take off work and celebrate together and visit some of the temples. I actually had to attend school, and I didn't understand because I was 7 or 8 years old, and I thought, why don't I get a day off? So that was one of the more difficult aspects. Another thing is that it was very difficult to celebrate without firecrackers, because that is traditionally one of the larger aspects of the holiday, but we were still able to have some of these religious prayers and just be together with our family and friends during the weekends.
Wow, Julie, thanks for sharing. Previously, I didn't know about Diwali's history with fireworks. Can you tell me, is anybody allowed to partake in the celebration? Do you have to be part of the Indian Student Association or Indian to take part, or is it open to the general public?
Sure. So actually at the University of Illinois, we've got a couple of different celebrations that are open to everyone. Majority of the people that go there are Hindu, but there is no religious aspect to Indian Student Association, as it is primarily a cultural organization. So they hosted the Diwali night, which is open to everyone, members and non-members alike. And essentially it's a celebration of all the talent that we have on campus. So it's a cultural show with people performing just to celebrate the Diwali. And then additionally, we have lighting on the quad. So for the Diwali, students are more than welcome to go at night to go and light the quad with a diya, which is a tea light candle. So that's something that lights up the quad beautifully, and anyone can partake in it. Additionally, one of the last events that they have is called the Diwali Puja, and this puja is also open to anyone. It's just a prayer where family and friends get together and they just celebrate life, and everyone is allowed to go. There's food and everything like that.
Wow, Julie, Diwali definitely sounds like a beautiful holiday. I'd love to take part in it next year. As someone who was born in India and then came to the U.S., what exactly does this holiday mean to you?
So on a macro scale, it's the triumph of good over evil, but personally to me, it's a time where I can spend with my family and friends and just be thankful for the prosperity and the health that we have to celebrate.
So that wraps up today's talk about Diwali on Culture Talk. I'd like to say another thank you to Juhi Tucker for coming out to today's show. Tune in again next week as we talk about Ashura, and until then, have a fabulous week, guys.